Hello everyone, so today we're going to do something a bit different and we're going to do some building tutorials, because at the moment when this goes out I will actually be away, so I thought it would be nice to do some live videos before I went away on how to build in The Sims. And these are for anyone who has just recently got the game or just wants to learn a little bit more about how to build, basically. So there are many different ways that you can start building your house, and there are different ways to create a room as well. So the first way is to just use the basic wall tool, which is used by clicking, holding the mouse button down, dragging along how big you want your wall and sort of plopping it down there. So if you want to make a square, just click and drag, popping it down, and you always know when it's made a room when it goes dark. And when you have made a room, you can do a lot of different things with it. You can scale up the walls. Let's pop the walls up. So you can scale them up. There are 3 different wall heights that you can do: short, medium and long. And you can rotate the room, you can copy the room, and that'll make a nice little copy there, exactly the same size, so it's handy if you want to create the same thing. So we'll just delete that. And you can move the room, so anywhere on the lot you can pick it up, plop it back down, and pick it up and plop it anywhere you want. So that's the first way. Another way is the little square tool, which I like to use the most. So you can just click and drag out your square to how big or however small you want it to be, and you can just plop that down, and using your mouse you can set however you want. So we'll kind of work towards making our own little house. So I'll click and drag out the walls to make sort of a little extension there. And there is a third way you can make a room, which is by the little nodes tool. This was added a bit later into the game, so each time you drag and click to place, it will have one of these little handy markers, so you can move wherever you want to go with the marker. So we'll put that on a little diagonal, and we'll go along to there, and you always have to make sure that you end up going back to where you have started. Or if you're feeling very, very lazy, you can use these ones down here, so you can just create whatever shape you want. It'll give you sort of a small version of it. So we'll probably go around the back and plop down a little square. And if you ever want to change the size of the room you want, just click on the arrow, drag it out, drag it along, and you've got a room. So if you ever wanted to merge your rooms, say if you wanted to make these 2 spaces the same space, so we'll just drag that. So if you wanted to use the K button and select all the walls inside, that will then make that into its own room again. So that is one big space, and then you can just carve it up and make it back into 2 separate rooms. And if you wanted, say if you've got a line tool and you've created sort of very obscure sort of shape, let's go with that. That will create a room. And then if you wanted to, we'll plot one down here, just create another room at the side. So I want to try and show you combining 2 little rooms together. So we've created this little odd awkward bit in the middle. So if we want to, you can pick up the arrow key where this little thing is, and we can drag that into that space, so then that corridor becomes part of that room here. So if we pick that up, we can take that little bit with us. And if you wanted to combine both rooms together, because you wanted the whole space, all you do is drag out the arrows, it'll fill up the space, and then that whole thing becomes its own separate room. So it's very useful in building, and you want to combine little interesting nooks, and you can always use the arrow keys to sort of shorten the little gap between them or make it wider. It's just a useful thing to have. So if we go back to our little house that we're creating, once you've placed the walls, you can add a thing called foundation. So you just click the little bar at the bottom where it comes up with foundations. So you can pick any different height of foundation you want. So you can go with a massive sort of, my house is basically on the 2nd level, or you can go for a little slight foundation, and you can pick all along here all the different types of coloured foundations that you want to have. And why is it not working? There we go. So that will take off all the bar, but you'll have to do it for every single different room that you build for. So just change all the different things. You can have stone ones that will have like little lips around them, and you can also do it so that each different room has a different sort of foundation to it. So if you do end up building with a foundation, you can have these little things. So these are little ploppable sort of flat wall spaces that you can drag out and move them around, so that'll make it easier for your Sims to sort of get up onto where your house actually is. And you can use eye tool, and we can just pop on the foundation that we're using, and then we can select a set of stairs, and you just hold and drag the mouse around to change the direction, move the arrow key, pop it along, drag it along however you want to have your stairs, and then we've got the perfect set of stairs to go up and down whatever size foundation you want. So if you've got sort of a small foundation, the stairs will change, and if you've got a huge one, the stairs will obviously change as well. And there are also other ways to separate your rooms. So if you're looking to have a sort of gap between, we'll put some lights in so we can actually see. So whenever I'm building, I always use these ones because they give off the most light, so we can actually see inside what we're doing. So if you wanted these two rooms to be still separate but have a gap between them, you can use the spindles, and you can just hold it over where you want the wall, and that will create a gap, but it will also keep your rooms as 2 separate rooms. And you can also do this by going into the half wall tool, so you can pop on a half wall and a spindle, so you can do it in all the different sizes and sort of pick what you want to have. And you can also do a lot of different things with this, so I'll just go back here. So if you get a half wall and select only part of the wall, you can create little indents in the wall, so that could be like a kitchen area, and this could be the living room, and this is like the galley between. So we'll put in one of our little spindles like that, and if you wanted to get even more fancier, we could put in sort of a little pillar, and that will create the little decoration here along the wall. And this also works for the outside of the house as well, so we'll put some columns up, and then we can get the spindle, because each of these sort of add-on floorings creates a room space, so we can just hover over and create a sort of nice little porch area for the Sims to enter the house. And then if we go into the fencing option, the fences work similar to the walls as well, so you can hover over where it should be and it will come up with this. So we'll add a little fencing along, and we can also do this inside as well. So we can we'll pick a nice sort of modern fence, so we can either do that, or we can do what we did before with the half wall and sort of just layer out how much of the space that we actually want, and that will still keep your walls separate. So if you wanted to move just that part of the room into that space, then it will create sort of how it's done here. It's kind of, because we've got a gap in the wall, it has deleted it and let the natural light in through. So if this ever happens, then all you have to do is go back in the wall tool and connect it back, and that will make it back into its proper room shape again. And then if we are building up a level and we sort of wanted this part to be covered, we can take this tool again and just plop it over the top, and then that becomes a roof, so we can build over that. So we'll just get back out our line tool, we'll drag it over, and that creates a nice little support over the roof. And if you ever didn't mean to do that. And if you ever go over sort of any of the things, then Sledgehammer will always fix that up. So if you want to create different height walls, all you do is use the page up and page down to sort of go between the different places. And if your room ever doesn't create a wall, this one has created two separate things, so you just drag it along like that, and you'll see that the little yellow line around the thing comes up. So you can click on that little line and click build ceiling, and that will create the ceiling for you. So you can also do this for the room below. So if you select that room, you see it comes up. We can then get the sledge. Oh, it won't work on this room. I'll try a different room. So if I build a roof here, and then I select the room below, I can then, because I'm on the floor above, I can actually remove the ceiling completely from the bottom one, but where I've placed the room here, it will still have a ceiling part, but obviously because we haven't got anything above the other parts, it won't have a ceiling until we drag it along and sort of cover up the rest of it, which can make for really interesting builds. So if you did want to add the ceiling back, all you have to do is make sure that you've covered the whole thing over. So now we've got 2 stories on our little build, and next time we'll be working on how to do some fancy roofs on it. So I hope you enjoyed watching and you learnt some new tips today, and I'll see you in the next one.